The lettered panels appeared to conceal buttons. The chair was fancy and probably more expensive than it looked. Medovsky had left the cabinet open. On the shelf inside was a business card and a scribbled note. It was a thank you note from a British politician. Medovsky. It was Hobbs's business card. I'd already taken the address down. The note read, L. Cirque drawings for you to check. W.H. I suspected the medals weren't from the Moscow Debating Society. Everything was in Cyrillic, except for a number, 1869. Everything was in Cyrillic, 1869. Medovsky in Libya. Happy days. It was a Russian privatization voucher. Medovsky had left the cabinet open. On the shelf inside was a business card and a scribbled note. Nico?
Shh! I'm eavesdropping, Georges.
Russian novels. Medovsky. The drawer was open. My heart skipped a beat. But inside I saw only a candy bar. It was an expensive. The ashtray was full of cigarettes. That wouldn't work. Large Cyrillic letters were carved into panels on the side of the desk. Large Cyrillic letters were carved into panels on the side of the desk. Large Cyrillic letters were carved into panels on the side of the desk. Medovsky had left the cabinet open. On the shelf inside was a business card and a scribbled note. Everything was in Cyrillic. 1869. It was a thank you note. Huh. Everything was in Cyrillic, except for a number. 18. Everything was in Cyrillic, except for a number. 1869. Medovsky had left the cabinet open. On the shelf inside was a business card and a scribbled note. The painting reminded me of my Aunt Maud. I'd never liked her. Medovsky had a truly impressive collection of paintings. A secret drawer popped open. I knew that publication date would be significant. At last, I was going to discover Medovsky's secrets. It certainly wasn't Medovsky's sock drawer. Hey, Nico! Come see this! I think we've struck gold.
Hang on, I'm coming.
Look, a letter from a guy called Gainan. His company, Wolfram, want to purchase La Maledizio. They're offering way over the asking price.
Anything connecting Medovsky to Vera?
Well, let's see. Here we go. A lease for Vera's security.
Aha! Then we have the proof we need.
Hang on, what's this? Expenses for a Mr. Shears. Waterloo Motors, one helmet. These are from Paris. Madame La Trex. Hotel Britannique. Pizza. Nico. Pizza. I think your friend Shears might just be Henri's killer.
Georges, what have we got ourselves into? I just heard the front door close. Medovsky's coming. Put everything back in order, quick!
Right. He'll never suspect we just ransacked his house for evidence.
Georges, the coin!
Damn, no time. Look cool, Nico. I'll handle this.
I apologize for the lengthy wait. As you can imagine, my time is at a premium.
That's fine, Mr. Medovsky. I think we're almost finished anyway.
And payment?
Very soon, monsieur. Very soon.
Is there anything else I can assist you with?
Nice collection of medals you have there, Mr. Medovsky.
I earned them serving my country.
Anywhere interesting?
Chechnya. Ever been there?
No, can't say I've had the pleasure. Is that a first edition of War and Peace?
Of course. Printed in 1869. A great year for my country's literature. And Tolstoy is the master.
Is that a picture of you with Colonel Gaddafi?
A deeply wonderful man. He was a great fan of the Impressionists.
Well, he certainly left quite an impression on Libya. So, what brought you into the art business, Mr. Medovsky?
Oh, an eye for great artists, an appreciation of fine culture, and a love of what you Americans call the greenback.
You must be upset at the theft of La Maledizio.
Yes, and disappointed that someone would kill for such a minor piece.
So this Hobbs guy, good friend of yours, is he?
No, we simply have a business arrangement. We've been through this already. Now please, if you're quite finished, I'm a busy man.
Thank you for your time, Monsieur Medovsky. We'll be in touch soon.
Well, no prizes for guessing where we go now.
Hobbs' place, right?
Got it in one. Medovsky's pretty shady, don't you think?
He bought our act, though. You make a pretty good insurance man, Georges.
Yeah, who'd have thought it?
By the time he realizes we're not assessing his claim, we'll have cracked the case and be toasting our success.
Here's hoping. Looks like rain.
Come on, let's get that cab. Taxi?
I think we just stepped off the London tourist trail.
I guess this Hobbs character doesn't like visitors.
Not the kind of place you'd expect to find a restorer of old masters.
Unless you didn't want to attract attention.
He's attracted ours. Let's see what Mr. Hobbs knows about La Malediccio.
And let's try and get a look inside that portfolio.
Slasha. Not a sound. The horn wasn't working. I popped open the van's hood. The door was locked. Looking through the window, I could see that there was nothing in the van. Hobbs must have taken the portfolio inside. I don't think there's anyone home.
There's a light on upstairs.
There was definitely someone home. It was Hobbs's mailbox. There was a note hanging out. For a second, I debated the morality of mail snooping. It was a short debate, and I won. The mailbox read, W. Hobbs, Fine Art Restoration. I decided to open the letter. Dear Mr. Hobbs, due to previous incidents, we are writing to inform you that we will no longer be sending models to your address. It went on to discuss Hobbs's temper and other alleged infractions, some of which still carry the death sentence in certain less sophisticated cultures. Interesting. This could come in useful. The engine was held together by rust and dirt. Everything was covered in a sticky film of dirty black oil. Half the wiring wasn't connected to anything. It was clear why the horn hadn't made a noise. Neither hornpipe was connected to either the battery or the cab. It was the van's engine. I didn't really have any reason to sabotage it. It was the van battery. I needed to hook this up to the horn somehow. It was one of two horns in the van. It didn't seem to be connected to anything else under the hood. Two wires hung loose from it. A bundle of short, severed wires was connected to the battery. None of the wires were connected to anything. A loose wire hung from the right-hand horn. That would be pointless. That was never going to happen. I needed a better idea. A loose wire hung from the horn. If I had some spare cable, I could connect it to the other horn. A bundle of wires came into the engine bay from the dashboard. Many of the wires seemed to lead nowhere. It was the van's... A loose wire hung from the horn. The horn wasn't working. I decided to leave the handbrake alone. The large dumpster was full of garbage. The large dumpster was full of garbage. The engine bay was a mess. It was clear why the horn hadn't made a noise. Neither hornpipe was connected to either the battery or the cab. A paperclip from the Vera office. Never in a month of Sundays. A paperclip from the Vera office. That wouldn't make any sense. That was almost a great idea. Almost. A bundle of short, severed wires with... That so didn't work. Never in a month of Sundays. Piles of junk, mostly boxes of old paints and scraps of picture frames. Mixed in were wires, cardboard, and some dubious-looking old clothes. George Stobart.
Ah, Monsieur Stobart. I trust you have obeyed my instructions not to leave Paris.
Of course, Inspector.
Good. You clearly know which side your cookie is buttered. Now, I require your presence tomorrow at the murder scene for a reconstruction.
I see.
12 o'clock sharp, monsieur. Or, as you would say, high noon.
Sure.
Any failure to comply, and I shall have you extraordinarily rendered. Have a nice day now.
And you. That was Nave. We're required back at the gallery tomorrow for a crime scene reconstruction.
Let me guess. Non-attendance is a criminal offense?
You got it. I had found just what I needed. 2 lengths of wire. Well, that didn't work. I snipped the wire in half. I'd already cut one wire in half. I connected the wires from the cab to the horn. The wire was just long enough to connect the battery to the horn. That wire wasn't long enough to reach between the 2 horns. It was the van battery. There was already a wire connected to that terminal. A loose wire hung from the horn. That wire wasn't long enough to reach between the 2 horns. It didn't work. that didn't work. There was already a wire connected to that terminal. A bundle of wires came into the engine bay from the dashboard. That wouldn't work. The horn wasn't working. A loose wire hung from the horn. That wire wasn't long enough to reach between the two horns. I'd connected a wire from the right-hand horn to the battery. A loose wire hung from the horn. That wire wasn't long enough to reach between the two horns. I'd connected a wire from the right-hand horn to the battery. I connected the wires from the cab to the horn. Everything was wired up. The horn had power. I figured that should get Hobbs' attention.
All right, hold your blooming horses. What are you up to with my van?
Hello there. We fixed your horn.
So I hear. Now what are you doing in my yard?
Sorry to bother you again, Mr. Hobbs, but... Well, that could have gone better.
He's not exactly the friendliest of characters.
I decided to give it another blast.
For crying out loud, will you leave my van alone?
Sorry, just need a quick word, Mr. Hobbs. Mr. Hobbs, do you mind if we ask you a few questions?
Yes.
Yes, you will answer a few questions?
Yes, I do mind. Clear?
Not really.
Good. Now get lost.
This Hobbs guy doesn't exactly like visitors.
There must be some angle we can use to talk our way inside.
I decided to give it another blast.
You two again? What is it this time?
Hello there. We'd like to discuss some restoration work with you.
Then make an appointment. I'm busy.
This is crazy. We need to get in there and take a look around.
We need a good cover story.
I decided to give it another blast.
What now?
Afternoon, Mr. Hobbs. We're from the model agency.
About blooming time. I'm on a deadline. You better come up. About time you two showed up.
Hello, Mr. Hobbs. I was just wondering if...
Can it, Goldilocks? I don't have time for chit-chat. Just get undressed behind that screen.
Undressed?
That was the deal. An extra 20 quid because I need you with your kit off.
The studio was freezing.
And as for you, darling, no need to get undressed. I've got a vivid imagination, so I'll just use that. Either way, just go sit over there on that rug and give me your best belly-pock floozy. That's perfect. Just hold it there.
Nico made for a good distraction. I just needed to figure out how to get a look inside that portfolio. I didn't want to play around with the negligee. Those days are long gone. But I wondered who it did belong to.
My, if it isn't George Stobart.
Lady Piermont. Oh, my. You're...
Naked? Of course. As an artist's muse, one often finds oneself en pelotas. Now, George, don't be shy. Come here and give me a big hug.
That day was the day the nightmares had begun. Trapped, smothered, choking on lavender.
George, darling, pass me my robe. It's terribly cold in here.
Oi, what are you doing with a blooming robe on? God help me, but you're supposed to be naked. I've got a deadline to meet.
Well, you won't be meeting any deadlines with manners like that. And besides, it's freezing in here.
Lady Piermont and I had met before. It was a shaky old elevator that would... I didn't need to sit. I wasn't going to mess around with that wiring.
Hey! Leave that dial alone. The heating gobbles up all the power and the circuits can't take it.
Sorry. I turned the thermostat down again. I had no need to walk out onto the balcony.
Oh, you! Get down from there, it's private.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, what do you think you're doing?
Oh, sorry. I was just going to take a look at some of your pictures. You're very good.
I know, and that portfolio is private. I'm not paying you to gawp around my studio. Get your blooming clothes off!
Sorry. Lady Piermont.
Oh, George, be a darling and sort the heating out in here.
I'll see what I can do. Wary of any more life-changing surprises, I decided against exploring behind the screen. That was never going to happen.
Hey, that's my whiskey ration for the day gone.
A variety of liquor bottles, all empty. Climbing drain pipes was something I preferred to avoid, unless I had a great reason to do so. Excuse me, Mr. Hobbs.
Oh, what do you want? You're supposed to be sprawled naked on that rug with the family jewels out.
Yeah, well, about...
Blow me. A model who's shy and...
Lady Piermont was wondering if you could turn the heating up. It's very cold in here.
Oh, is that so? Well, tell Her Majesty that the heating stays off. The wiring in this place can't take the load.
But I thought you were a restorer, but you're working on this painting from scratch.
Well, yeah. Look, some clients want a painting that they don't own, restored from scratch. Don't worry, son.
Yeah, about the...
Oh, what's up? Afraid of these shrink...
No, it's just...
First time?
No, definitely.
Well then, what are you waiting for?
We had a saying in the Stobar. So, what's in the folder that you're so touchy about?
Little boys should keep their noses out of other people's business.
Totally.
I have got my...
Do you know a Russian?
You know Madoff.
Everyone in the London...
And everyone in the London art scene who likes their kneecaps know...
Excuse me, Mr.
What now?
I hear you did the restoration of that paint.
I might have.
Are you sure you won't talk about...
Are you deaf?
I'm really...
And I'm really curious.
Cookie, Mr. Hobbs?
Oh, don't mind if I... No bourbons?
Afraid not.
Jammy Dodgers?
Sorry.
Stroopwafel?
No, it's just the way I... How about a top-up, Mr. Hobbs?
Oh, don't mind if I...
How about a top-up, Mr.
Thanks, but I've already...
Wow, an old Bofson Wang stereo. I hadn't seen one of those for years. The record had stopped. It was Jasmine Breeze by the Hairy Lobsters. Hobbs seemed to have... I turned the volume up a few notches. It was locked. I wondered what was behind the door. That wouldn't work.
Hey, stop meddling with that. The power's ropey enough as it is.
Blowing the power would certainly have distracted Hobbs, but the elevator alone wasn't going to trip the whole system.
Hey! I've told you, don't mess with that thermostat.
Sorry, but Lady Piermont is cold. I thought...
Look, pal, I know it's brass. Her Majesty will do...
Lady Piermont, Mr. Hobbs won't let me turn up the heating.
Well, we'll soon see about that.
Oh, crumbs.
If you do not adjust the heating, I shall refuse to cooperate.
Lady Piermont, it's the circuits. They won't take the strain. You know what?
In which case, I see...
Whoa!
Good.
Oh, go ahead then.
I turned the thermostat. I wondered if the suspicious wiring.
Oh, you! Get down from there. You'll trip the power in the whole building if you're not careful.
The elevator on its own wasn't going to blow the power.
Oh, you! Get down from there. You'll trip the power in the whole building if you're not...
The elevator on its own wasn't going to blow the power. I wasn't going to mess around. I'd better not. I turned the volume down. I turned the volume up a few notches. A word, if I may, Lady Piermont.
For you, George.
How did you come to be...
Wheresoever a bohemian needs a... And what better way to help than to expose one's flesh to the sensuous brushstrokes of such a talent?
Do you know anything about it?
Oh, is this another of your events? My heart's a tremor, George. Do you think Wilf is mixed up with this?
Maybe, but I need you to...
Mum's the...
Can you keep a secret, Lady Piermont?
I am the very...
You see that clip? You need to take a peek inside.
Be still my beating.
So what have you been up to?
Charity work, dear boy.
Oh, any particular kind?
Young men, George. So many have lost their way. I try to guide them best I can.
Lady Piermont, we need your help.
How thrilling! What do you need? Subterfuge?
Act...
Oh, but of course... Is this good, George, darling?
Perfect. Now, just stay right there. Now is my chance. Well, it wasn't the Maledictio, but it did appear to be a study for an There was something different. I figured the sketch might come in handy, so I took it.
What the heck are you doing with those? They're private papers.
Huh?
Well, that was fun. Just like when you were a private dick, George.
So, you're not model?
No, Mr. Hop.
Well, you can't be a copper. You're not stupid enough. So what the blazes are you doing in my studio?
We're investigating.
I told you I just restored.
And these sketch...
Studies done during the rest. I've got naught to do with what happened after that. How was I to know it was...
Hang on a second.
Look, he and I went back a long way. Nothing like this was supposed...
We're not accusing you of anything, Mr. Hop.
I get that, and I'll help you however I can.
How come you needed to make so...
Restoration's not about... The surf is a complicated paint.
Why would anyone want this...
True, but there is some... There's conviction in every... The symbolism.
We have reason to believe...
Eh? What?
We have strong evidence that Medovsky is not the real owner.
You'll have a hard time proving that. Medovsky has a full set of provenances for the painting. It traces...
Why didn't Medovsky mention them?
Because they're not with him. Henri's got them. Or had them.
And Henri is dead.
So ask his partner.
Lane?
Look, pal, you're wasting... And you're wasting my time. Go get the provenance from Lane and everything.
But it also puts Marquez's story into question.
Not my problem. Now both of you get...
And we have a...
Someone's lying, but who?
Is it the gangster or the old Spaniard?
The painter or the art critic?
I need to head back for Nave's reconstruction.
What about the evidence from Medovsky's house? Will you give it to Nave?
I think I should. And I...
Good. I've got lunch with Ronnie tomorrow. This story is hotting up, and I want to make sure he keeps me on it.
Taxi? Here I was again at the crime scene. Inside the gallery, Nave prepared... Nico and I had a good idea who the killer was. Now we...
Sir, I already tried starting it.
Nonsense, Moo. This machine has the power.
But investigators never fail to start up, sir.
Your pessimism is duly noted, Moo. But have faith. This machine will analyze the scene, compute the data, and deduce everything for us. The location of the second shooter will be a mystery no more. One moment.
A marvel indeed, sir. Though at the moment it is kaput.
Your pessimism has obviously infected the circuitry, Moo. Let me think.
If I could just...
Shh!
Eh bien, Moo?
Sir, move over.
Now, oscillating refract. Now. Ah, Monsieur Stobart, it's only you. Glad you could finally make it.
Inspector, I've got some good news and some bad news.
Oh, yes?
I think I know who the killer...
Really?
Yep, he's a gardener called Shears living in London.
Fascinating.
We don't need to do your reconstruction.
You joke with me, Miss...
It's not a joke. This guy Shears was working for a Russian ex-mobster. It's all part of a highly complex fraud.
Gardener. And I have no time. Now, stand over there and keep out of trouble.
Well, who are we waiting?
Mademoiselle Collard and Father Simeon, please. Ah, Moo, a clever child.
Mon Dieu!
Lane.
Stobart,
What's the deal with that
it's a farce. They've been trying to get it working for hours.
Looks like something out of a 50s.
It probably is.
I gather you're the man to ask about the provenance for the painting.
For La Maledictio? Well, you have.
I'd like to see it.
So speak to Bijou. She took care of the business side. The provenance is in the office safe.
Lane was a pushover when you had him cornered. Though it looked like Bijou hadn't been completely honest with me after all. I needed to pay her. What do you think of Moo?
Who,
The policeman with Nave.
I assume,
Why's that?
I believe one can tell.
I'll bear that in. What do you think of...
The man. I have better things to do than wait for these. The only silver.
Okay.
Sir, I think we.
Yes, Moo, I was just about. Do it. Moo, what have you done?
Pardon me, sir, but I believe it was you.
This is no time for
Mon Dieu.
Stobart. Monsieur Stobart, you will not leave.
But I just need...
This is a reconstruction.
Okay. I considered making a run, and it would have been silly. Better to play along with Nave. It was pointless trying to get a closer look. Excuse me.
Please, monsieur.
Inspector Nave. What seems to be...
Monsieur Stobart, if Paris' finest cannot get this, then I doubt.
I'm an insurance...
Oh, I see. Well, la-di-da to you, monsieur.
Oh, yeah? Well...
Whatever. You?
Like us.
What was that, Moo?
I said,
Have you been at a...
Long enough?
You've solved...
More than you have.
I've had a lot of hot dinners.
Oh, yes? How many?
What?
Precisely how many hot dinners?
I don't know. Thousands?
You prove my point for me, monsieur.
You truly are a unique...
Oh, I'm glad you...
I was sure if I could just get... The bus stayed...
Monsieur Stobart, please remain within the main gallery.
That was where La Maledictio... The security camera still kept a vigil over the gallery. Inspector Nave. I know this sounds obvious, but are you sure it's plugged in?
Monsieur Stobart, do you really?
We all make mistakes.
What a ridiculous... Look, Ah.
Do you need assistance?
Very funny, Mo. One moment.
That got rid of him. Now is my chance. I was going to have to figure that out. Time to get the show on the road.
See, Moo? I knew I would get it working.
I'm not sure that you...
Precisely. You knew my superior intellect would win through in the end.
Yes, sir. Sir, I beg your pardon, but...
Go on.
We have no victim.
Good God, Moo. Are you suggesting I kill someone for the sake of this reenactment?
No, sir.
Ah, yes. I, of course, foresaw this, and I nominate you.
Me?
Have you ever acted?
Well, I don't like...
Hmm.
No.
So, not... Nevertheless.
But he looks nothing like the victim, sir.
Oh, damn it. Let me think of a way.
Relying on Naves, I had to find something. I'll have a look around.
Yes, you... Ah, you have arrived at last. Please,
Father Simeon?
Hi, George.
Welcome to the asylum. Not quite. I told him about Shears and...
But that's great.
Tell me about it.
So what do we do?
Carry on anyway.
What about now?
Ignore him.
And this Shara?
The reconstruction?
George.
It's Nave's baby.
But we already know what...
Sure we do.
Quiet, please!
Lane was right. Hello, Father.
Mr. Stobart, will this...
I'm not sure.
I'll pray for some...
If you think that'll...
The Lord is all...
Hello, Father.
Mr. I'll pray for some divine intervention, then.
If you think that...
The Lord is all...
The best place to find Henri's things was in his office. It was a statue of Henri. On the head of the statue was maybe just... The desk was covered with Henri's junk, and none of it was of any... It was a lava lamp. It was a battered... That wasn't... That wouldn't make any sense. I found these glass...
Stole or found? Come on, everyone.
This process is ridiculous.
God moves in mysterious ways.
Indeed. And
Shh! Stobart, you are supposed to be dead.
I tried to tell Nave the truth about his bloodstain.
Didn't he believe you? You're a man of God.
His faith is in science, Mr. Stobart, not God.
Monsieur Stubble,
Yes, Inspector?
you are fiddling.
I just wanted to show Father Simeon...
Well, don't. You are supposed to be dead. The dead. They do not, and they certainly do. So, please.
Nave wasn't going to let me but that wouldn't stop me. Father?
Yes, my son.
Do you think the machine will give...
He will find the answers he seeks. This was no order.
Do you think Inspector...
I'm not sure.
Yeah, neither is... You keep talking about the Gnostics.
They are a warped branch.
I can see how...
The Vatican?
Last time we met, you said the...
Let me explain. I'm a Dominican.
Why?
Because Herod...
Okay.
For 1,000 years we have fought against Dominicanis.
Very clever.
Now this painting...
Whoa, hold on. How can a...
Because it is filled with Gnostic...
What kind of...
evil image.
So you...
It trails murder.
And murder is police work.
The Ouroboros.
It is a Gnostic symbol. They're a tree. They symbolize knowledge. The painting must be destroyed to...
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Only, please remain in position while we reset the machine.
Who are these...
Gnostics. They question, lure the un... and con...
You mean like a black...
Vade retro.
What's the matter?
It is worse than I...
What is it? It's just a sketch.
Not just a...
I wondered if it was something
I have to get out of here.
Father Simeon,
Don't you understand? The painting is evil.
The devil?
Don't you understand? The tabula veritatis.
Well, well. Pressing your witnesses a little too hard.
And you are?
Richard Langham, Interpol. We spoke on the...
Ah, yes. Sir.
What exactly?
A little invention of mine, Monsieur Langham. It will...
Not to worry, Inspector. Perhaps you could...
Ah, of course.
Pizza box. It looks like your suspect.
A Hawaiian?
Mon Dieu, there is a surf killer on the loose.
Sorry, Inspector. I mean...
Pizza? Move! Forget the surf shops. Get onto the...
Nah, Inspector, if you don't mind, I'd like to speak to you. And in the meantime, perhaps you should... Madame Collard, Mr. Stobart, I assume. Can I buy you...
Langham sounded a little more on the ball. Maybe he'd bring a dose of common sense.
So, Inspector Nave brought me up.
I can guess what he said.
I've been tracking a gang of art thieves for some time. But Nave is worse than useless.
We're flattered.
Just doing our job.
We all are, or at least trying to. I gather you ensured...
That's right.
Any leads so far?
Maybe. There's a Russian guy called...
Medovsky?
You know him?
Oligarch, oil, art, aluminium. ex... You need to be careful. Medovsky's dangerous. He kills anyone who gets in his way.
For a cop, Langham seemed okay. Trouble with doing deals with cops, there's usually a payback down the line. But I figured that'd be a price worth paying to bring down Medovsky. We found evidence that links Medovsky to the company that installed the security at the gallery.
Interesting.
And one of his men, a guy called Shears, was in Paris on the day of the robbery.
Really?
We also found a letter from someone called Gainan wanting to buy the painting from Medovsky.
Gainan? The name rings a bell? Did you find anything else about him?
No, we were in a hurry.
What about the priest?
Ah, the good Father Simeon. Well, something spooked him, that's for sure.
So I gather.
He kept saying La Maledizione was evil.
Perhaps he's right. It certainly caused evil, hasn't it? I'll take leads from anyone, Mr. Stone. Let's keep in touch. Thank you for your help. Coffee's on me, or rather, on Interpol. Miss Collard, Mr. Stobart.
So, George, what do you think?
Interesting. He seems to be on top of things.
I agree.
You know, Nico, this could start getting dangerous.
You think Langham's right about Medovsky?
Well, he appears to be on the ball.
I thought he was cute.
He was English, Nico. They're all cute to you.
Hidden depths, too.
Oh, yeah? What about my hidden depths?
You showed me those long ago, George. Well, I'm off home to write up the story so far. You?
I have to see a woman about a dog. A stuffed dog, that is.
You're talking riddles again, George.
I need to pay Bijou another visit. She's not been completely honest with me.